Go to YouTube. Give me a minute just to sort this out. Continue to YouTube. Hello, people. Welcome to Main Event Boxing Talk. I've got Tom with me. How are you, Tom?
I'm doing well. I hope you are too, Nathan, and you too, Spencer.
Yeah, I'm doing fine.
How are you, Spencer?
I'm all right. Thanks for asking.
Right,
Yourself,
let's
I know.
kick things off. Yeah, I'm good. Right, let's kick things into touch. Bivol completely outclasses Ramirez and makes him look silly. Who wants to kick this off?
Well, I'd like to say I thought he was going to win, but obviously, Ramirez, I thought had a good chance of winning, and he was bigger, he was strong, but he just didn't have the IQ that Bivol had, and Bivol was faster, and Bivol was, crowding him, pushing him back, but Ramirez was competitive for about 4 rounds. I mean, he was competitive mostly, but he just couldn't get the best of it. So
Right. I agree. I think that Zerto, I was going to say Zerto, like Tom said, Zerto was kind of successful early, but Bivol kind of like shifted the fight to him commanding, and Zerto didn't have an answer for that for Bivol when he started to take, like separate himself. He just didn't have an answer. Can you hear me?
I'm sorry. Yeah, my signal dropped out for a second. Give me a second. But what was your answer?
I was saying that Zerto, like you said, Zerto was kind of successful for the first few rounds, but then something like I think maybe the 5th or 6th round, Bivol just kind of like separated himself from Zerto, and Zerto couldn't adjust to what Bivol was giving him then. He didn't do anything that he tried to like outbox Zerto outbox Bivol down the stretch, and that wasn't really gonna play in Zerto's favor because Bivol was probably the better boxer. He needed to use his size, volume punching to really keep it close, and he didn't do that.
I don't think he expected to be hurt by his punches, and he did get rocked a couple of times.
Yeah, that kind of like maybe did it too.
Made it tentative. And did you notice that he started crowding him so he couldn't throw those longer punches and was winning on the inside with faster punches? Yeah, he crowded him. I was surprised that he did that. I didn't expect all of that from him. But, we've seen Bivol in different things, but now we've seen him with two we saw him with Canelo. We saw what he did now with Ramirez. I mean, he's up for Fighter of the Year.
Yeah, I would give it to him. He had 2 impressive performances. Zerto was a highly ranked contender in light heavyweight, former super middleweight champ. Obviously, Canelo being the pound for pound king, or top 3 on many lists, and he defeated him rather easily. Yeah, he should definitely get Fighter of the Year. I mean, I can't really see nobody else. I can't really see anybody else that could. Maybe Haney.
Yeah. But Haney didn't really beat, like a pound for pound guy.
The only, like I said, the only close competition would probably be Haney because he became undisputed and defended the undisputed crown. So like that may be it.
I agree with that. What do you think,
I talk
Nathan?
about the rest of the card. What of the fight?
Well, yeah, whatever you want to talk about, whatever you want.
I thought it was. I pretty much agree with everything you guys said. I wanted to go through the rest of that card a little bit, if you don't mind.
Sure, go. Do it.
Did everybody watch the rest of the card or not?
Remind me who was on it.
Yeah, I did watch it, but I don't.
You had
everybody.
Zelfa Barrett was on it. He lost in 9 rounds to Rakhimov for the IBF super featherweight belt.
Yes.
He came
yes,
off
that-
Right,
he had,
right.
He had him down in the first round too,
Mm-hmm.
but he battled back and just took it. Just got it. It was great.
I'm going to give Rakhimov a lot of credit from getting up off the floor, but I also believe that Zelfa Barrett is still improving, even though that's his second loss. I still think he can come back from that.
Well, he's got to improve not getting knocked out.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, he got dodged that lucky win over Kiko Martinez. Do you remember about a couple of years back? A pretty strange win.
Yeah. Well, that happens. Stuff happens.
What else?
Chantel Cameron beat Jessica McCaskill to unify her division.
Now, that was a good win. That was a very good boxing win.
Yeah, Chantel, she was the favorite going in.
I mean, Jessica's tough, but
Yeah,
Can I
Chantel was
pose another
fighter.
question? If that fight had been in America, who would have got the decision? I have to wonder. Did Chantel Cameron really outbox you, do you think, from what you saw, or was it very close?
Yes. No.
Yeah, she won. She won.
So if that had been in America, do you think the decision would have gone the other way? Because we know what judges are like.
What? Oh God.
Nah, I don't think so.
Oh God.
I
mean, listen. The judges are like that everywhere in the world. If judges say some questionable calls everywhere, like to try to just pinpoint it at one point, like American judges, the judges on American scorecards is questionable, as if those English scorecards are like the greatest.
Yeah, like they don't favor the hometown guy, Come on.
Yeah, like the reason why Taylor and Catterall is having a rematch is because of questionable scorecards.
That's right. There you go. There you go.
I think Jack
when what's his name, Junior, Ricky Hatton Jr., gets a favorable decision after he gets beat up.
Yeah. That was awful. That was awful. Right, the next fight I saw on this is I didn't watch it, but I read about this. They're both the Yafai brothers have won their fights.
The who?
The Yafai brothers, Gali Yafai, not Khalid Yafai. The younger brothers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, the first brother, I mean, he pulled it out.
Well, Khalid Yafai is the one that was the world champion. I don't even know. Can't keep
that's right. Well, he didn't look as good as he should have looked. But his brother had a very close fight, I thought. I thought that fight was close. When his brother took the decision, that was a very, very close decision.
It was the younger. It was Khalid, the former world champion, who lost to Chocolito.
Yeah. But both of them are pretty good. They just, the first one, didn't he get dropped in the first round?
Yeah. I can't tell the difference because all people from Yemen look the same. So.
Oh boy, here we go.
I'm joking. That's a joke. Right. Right.
Well,
and in other news on this card, the great Campbell Hatton finished his opponent, who was ranked 1,200 in the world, with a body shot in the first round.
Well, he looked good. What are you going to say?
It was a good body shot. Good body shot.
Yeah.
He did what he was supposed to do. He got to give him some confidence back. I mean, get him, make sure he knows he can win some fights.
I looked on Boxer, and what's quite alarming is this guy was ranked 500 places below his last two opponents. So that tells me that they're really taking it back to the beginning because he had no amateur career really to speak of. So I can understand they're doing it the right way. He's developing the right way.
And for whatever reason, this guy was too much of a pushover again. They should have got somebody that if they was going to work on Hatton, maybe last a round or two so Hatton could work on some things. Not to stop it so quickly. Like, if you want to get him some experience against some less guys that he's going to beat up, let him, there's a purpose for that. You know what I'm saying? Not to knock him out.
Yeah.
Again, it could have been just to boost his confidence up. You know, he hasn't looked real impressive. Well, you know, that was a couple of fights ago when he was questionable with that win. But you know, you got to get him some confidence up, maybe.
He needs just more experience, and if they keep, you know, it's like in Mexico when you have guys like coming up and they got 40 fights and they bring them up slowly. I don't have a problem with that, but it's because his father was so big. You know, there's high expectations.
Yeah, that's the curse of it all. Like they want him to be his dad, and a lot of times through past experiences, a lot of times that don't pan out.
No, it doesn't. Hell no.
You know, like either the father was an okay boxer and made his son great in the case of like a Floyd or somebody, or the pops was great and the son isn't that great, like Junior Chavez.
Yeah,
I need to be blunt about this. I think Ricky did well to get as far as he ever got, living the way he lived. You know, he really did. He was a good boxer. He was a world-class fighter. One of probably the best 140-pounder to ever come from this country.
And he was very dirty. And he was very dirty.
he was, yeah. But it got the win. He did what he needed to. Hit the son. I think the son will be lucky if he wins a British title. He may go, you know, like British title level.
Yeah, they might have him bypass things like that because of the name and just have him go straight for like.
We need to be realistic. But ideally, I could see him win an English title, win a British belt, Commonwealth belt. You know, probably being the same level Matthew Hatton got, or a little bit worse than that. I don't think he's going to go past British level or European level. Yeah,
reasonably, that's how you should do it. All fighters should need to have to do that. Win the regional titles before they win the, you know, national titles, America, and then win the.
What you've got the NABA and NABO belts and all the stuff, haven't you? In the state.
I mean, it depends on the type of guys. Like, you know, obviously Olympians, they're going to be on a faster track than guys that didn't make the Olympics.
I do think in Britain we have a better domestic way of building up belts. Do you know what I mean? Domestically, our domestic scene, I think the American fighters are better, but I think we have a better pathway in Britain, you know, how to get, you know what I mean?
It's more sensible. The way y'all do it is more sensible. It's a step-by-step process, supposedly.
Yeah. But in America, you can go from being the NABA champion or whatever regional to, you know, in America, there is no such real domestic system like we got in Britain, you know?
Right, because there's not really what the equivalent to y'all British title or your English title to your Southern area title. Our regional titles are organized through a lot of the sanctionings. Like the NABF is the North American Boxing Federation, which is an offshoot of the IBF or the NABO or something like that.
I do believe that if certain American fighters had the path that the British fighters have gone, some of these guys would have been more champions. That's how that's. You know, yeah. Anyway,
maybe not.
Ricky Hatton is fighting Michael Antonio Barrera in a 12-round exhibition fight tomorrow night.
Listen, somebody put this up. Somebody put this up on social media. Manny Pacquiao, Floyd Mayweather, Hatton, and I think Barrera. They all fighting in exhibition fights.
Really?
It's like, what the hell is going on? All of those guys from the early 2000s.
It's money. It's money. It's the senior golf tour.
Look,
you know
Ricky
yeah. It's the senior PGA.
Ricky Hatton needs it.
Yeah.
Because Ricky Hatton doesn't live like Mayweather does. He never, you know, he was out getting pissed every night, you know.
No, I mean, it's possible. Barrera too. Barrera might be, you know, strapped for a little bit of cash too. But
Ricky Hatton's not. Ricky Hatton's got over 40 million in the bank. You know what I mean?
Oh, then he's good.
He's not a poor man.
He's just not the same in shape. You mean?
He looks good though.
Yeah. I was gonna say his recent photos. He looked like he was doing some serious training.
Yeah. But I don't know who's going to win this, and I don't really care because it doesn't mean anything. I'm just going to
it's an exhibition fight, so
I'm just going to enjoy it.
Yep.
In other news, what else happened last week? Oh yeah, Anderson Silva lost to Jake Paul in 8 rounds. I'll tell you what, if Anderson Silva was 20 years younger, he would have won that fight easily. Seriously.
Possible.
But he wasn't.
I think Jake Paul has reached his limit as far as he's going to go now, personally.
I think Jake Paul should fight Junior Chavez. I know Silva beat him. But that'll be like one of the official, that'll be a legitimate former boxer that Jake Paul would have on his record that he could possibly beat. Now, if I was Jake Paul's handler, I would reach out. And he got a little name, so you might be able to catch him on Cinco de Mayo weekend or something.
I think if Chavez trained, he'd win that fight.
Yeah, he could win that fight, but that's asking a lot of Chavez.
Yes, between women and weed, he's busy.
Like he lost. He shouldn't have lost to Anderson Silva. So
crazy, man. It's so crazy.
He mess around and lose if he fuck around and pick Sergio Martinez, Jake Paul. He picked Sergio. Sergio might mess around and win and revitalize his career.
Sergio is coming back. Didn't he win his last 2 fights?
Yeah, that's why I said he better not pick somebody like Sergio, because Sergio is back, and I think he still probably has questionable legs or something like that. If he's in there with a real boxer that's going to put pressure on him, but Jake Paul ain't that guy, so.
Yeah, well, be careful what you wish for, is what I always say, because you never know who's going to show up, especially somebody like Chavez, who isn't that old.
Not at all, and he might want to redeem himself. It might not be that hard for him to beat up Jake Paul.
Probably not. I mean, the guy's in shape, but he wouldn't have to make weight or anything like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, so what? No big deal.
And it'd be a kind of a pay-per-view worthy fight for Jake Paul. Nobody want to see him fighting no more. Really, I don't know how much sales he's going to get unless he fights somebody like Conor. Conor McGregor is looking kind of huge now. So,
is he still calling out Mike Tyson?
Jake Paul?
One of the Pauls was. Either Logan or Jake were calling him out.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're ready for Mike. Mike would
No, even if he didn't train, he'd kill him.
Yeah, Mike could kill him.
Throw a couple of bombs and they're out of there,
Yeah, so they probably never been hit by somebody that knows how to throw punches like Mike Tyson.
You mean like by an 18-wheeler truck?
Yeah, like that. Even at his old age, it might still just be just a dump truck or a bulldozer, but still, that's a lot.
yeah, a very heavy one.
Yep.
He'd throw 2 hooks in the right hand and an uppercut. It's over.
That's it, and he could do that without being too tired
and without breaking much of a sweat.
Yep. Or I mean, Jake Paul could try to do something stupid by trying to get Roy Jones in the ring.
Yeah. Well, Jones has a soft head. If he connects with his head, that could hurt him. I mean, Jones fought beyond the time he should have fought.
Yeah, beyond. His expiration date was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was. What was his name? What are we doing? What are we doing?
Move on. Adios. Your boss Snilly is in an induced coma because of.
He's still in the coma.
I haven't heard anything different yet.
Yeah, man, that was kind of crazy. Yo, Morrell showed true class at the end of the fight after he knocked him out. he didn't even celebrate his win. He seen that homeboy couldn't get up. He helped him get up, helped him bring him to his corner, him and Weeks, and he made sure he was all right before he celebrated his victory.
His own corner didn't come out and get him.
Yeah, that was crazy
cold.
to me. And Weeks was calling for them for a minute. And he was waving to the corner, and that was kind of crazy.
Well, that fight had been stopped after the first knockdown in that round. That guy was gone. He was gone, and he was busted up. That was sick. That shouldn't have went on.
Right. Weeks was actually telling, like kind of making sure, like, I think it was in between the 10th and the 11th round that he was like, is he all right? Like checking, is he all right? Because Morrell started to really unload. He was a tough guy, but, he wouldn't fall until the end.
Well, he was too tough for his own good, and his corner should have stopped it sooner.
Yeah, man. Yeah,
especially
since he wasn't doing anything that was looking like the tide was changing. He was already too far down. He would have needed a knockout to win.
Well, that's why I say, the referee has some responsibility there too.
Yeah,
it's not just the corner, because the ref could have stopped it 2 rounds earlier. So you saw the guy's face. I mean, come on, and he was eating punches.
Yeah, no, I got you. He was definitely, like I said, in between I think it was the 10th and 11th round after that round that he could have stopped it in, that Weeks was like, he went to the corner to see if he was all right and everything. And I think the corner said they was going to go on.
Yeah, well, that was stupid.
Yeah, that wasn't
I hope
good.
this guy doesn't die. But anyway, let's pray for him.
Yeah. It might have been his last fight, so hopefully, he recovers well and does,
Well, I don't know. He's not a Vinny Pazienza. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We'll see. That's a head trauma.
Yeah.
That's bad. All right, let's get off this depressing subject.
Yeah. What's next? The WBC had a convention. They ordered a bunch of fights.
Yeah, they ordered Ruiz and Deontay Wilder. They ordered something else that was good. I forgot what it was. Oh, Keith Thurman and Errol Spence.
A lot of their fights are good. And listen, they ordered.
Yeah, we can hear you.
They ordered the winner of Benavidez versus Plant to fight Canelo.
Ooh, we'll see if Canelo takes that.
They ordered. Who did they order? They ordered Isaac Cruz, Pitbull Cruz, to face Shakur Stevenson.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a good one. They ordered. Who else did they order? They ordered Thurman. They said that. The Benavidez and Plant fight is a mandatory. There was something else they had ordered. I forgot.
Yeah, Deontay Wilder and Ruiz.
Yeah. No, I got that one. That was one. They ordered they ordered the Benavidez fight. They ordered that one. I think they made Callum Smith the WBC mandatory.
Yes, they did.
For Beterbiev.
That's good.
Yeah, I don't think but he got to fight Yard first. Beterbiev got to fight Yard first.
Well, I think he'll beat Yard.
Yeah,
he should
me
beat
too.
Yard without a problem. But the guy now at the man of the hour is still Bivol in that division.
They ordered Figueroa versus Fulton Part 2.
Right.
They ordered that one off.
Who's Bivol going to fight next? Do we know?
I think, Bivol, that's the WBA guy, so that convention, he wasn't ordered by them. But the next guy up down the rankings is Buatsi. Remember?
Buatsi.
Eddie Hearn was trying to get Buatsi ahead of Zerto. So maybe
maybe he'll have second thoughts about that.
Yeah, I mean he might want to try him now. If Buatsi loses the Bivol, it's understandable. He could still manage to have a career after that. If he loses to somebody beneath Bivol, it might be a harder time to get back into meaningful fights that people want to see him in.
He will be a harder sell for sure.
Right. But
Now,
if he
what's
go
up?
in against Bivol and he does he gives a good account for himself for a little bit, he might be able to still come out and get a Callum Smith fight afterwards or something like that.
Yeah, that makes sense. What's up next, Nathan? What's next? Nathan.
I'm checking.
Oh. Well, we got Janabek fighting tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to
Janabek.
that.
Yeah, Aaron went on social media talking about how he'll pay a great purse for somebody to face Janabek. I'm like,
Like
I wonder what he considers a great purse, because he ain't bid on the Janabek Andrade fight. He didn't even try to.
You got to ask him, a great purse. What would he pay Bud, right?
Right. Well, considering Bud by Bob's standards, Bud was losing the money, so I don't know if that's a great purse for Bob.
Yeah, but I don't even know what he means by a great purse, because he's not notorious that what's his
Paying
name,
people.
Heyman is better at paying his guys.
Yeah, or Eddie Hearn. Like they're overpay, and the opponents. Like it's not about paying Janabek. He's talking about you gonna pay the opponent to face Janabek a nice purse. So Bob really don't be paying people that's not his fighters a lot of money. He doesn't do that. He definitely doesn't do that.
Don King used to do that. He would pay
Frank
Bruno $2 million and Tim Witherspoon $800,000.
Yeah, you gotta. I mean, Don King, he was a bad person, ethically, I guess. But as a promoter, he was a good promoter. He knew how to promote fights. Yeah, he knew how to promote fights. So that's a little bit what Eddie Hearn kind of has. He has that like salesmanship stuff with him.
Yeah, he does. He's good at it.
And
that's. Yeah, I think whatever happens here, I think Janabek is just going to wind up dominating the division. He should fight the other guys, Charlo, all the other guys that are regular champions.
He might have a middleweight reign like the way Triple G's reign was. Yeah. He'll fight a lot of these European guys, some Mexican guys, but he's not really going to get none of the bigger names until later on, when he probably that fight is so big that nobody else, like, there's nobody. You have to fight that guy, like with Canelo. Like you can't keep skating around not fighting Triple G. You got to fight him.
Yeah, well, look where that got GGG.
Yeah,
I mean they made money. Look,
I was about to say it got him 120 million over 3 fights, so he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's grateful, Canelo. Yes, my buddy, we made money. Thank you. Bye bye.
Yeah. I mean, I guess the same thing that could be said when Mayweather and Pacquiao was dancing around each other. They was like talking about each other, and the other one was this and disrespected. But when they came together, they made more money than they could possibly make ever.
And that was Mayweather, man. Mayweather, way that fight happened.
Yeah. And I mean, he did it in a way that it benefited his pockets because he wasn't with a promoter. He let his promotion team be like the lead promoter of that fight. So the biggest fight in boxing history was a Mayweather fight, a TMT fight rather, not a Bob Arum fight, not a Don King fight, not a Golden Boy fight. It was a Mayweather promotion fight. So.
And good for him.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's like I kind of like equate some of the boxing industry to like music, and how some people is more beneficial to sign with a major label, right? Some people, it benefits them more to be independent. And the same thing I see it with boxing. Some guys need their promoters. they need a bit of a guy to be their spokesman or to be one to help sell their fights. Some people don't need it; they can sell their own fights. They could be their own promoter.
Exactly.
Right, let's move on. All Russian and Belarusian fighters have been removed from the rankings except the champions.
That's the WBC, right?
Yeah, they've taken away Russian and Belarusian fighters from the rankings.
I don't agree with it. Why penalize the athletes for what the government's doing? That's a tough one for me.
And you said not the champions?
No, Bativiev is allowed to keep his title, and Makhmedov has been spared as well.
If you're a
because they both
citizen
live
of
in
Russia,
America,
you have to be a citizen of those countries, in other words, because they're not going to sanction any fights in those countries either.
So Beterbiev is what, a Canadian? He got dual citizenship or something?
Yeah,
both of them.
Oh, okay.
And Janibek is actually from Kazakhstan.
Yeah, Janibek is Kazakhstan, so he's not affected by that.
No. So it's anybody who lives there currently, and in those countries, and they're not going to sanction fights in those countries.
Yeah.
Those two.
Yeah, I heard that, and I heard this is only the WBC doing this, or it's not every organization, right?
Well, that's all I heard. Just then.
Yeah, that's kind of messed up.
Late. It's too late to be taking this stance now, isn't it? Really, it's a bit too late.
I think it's symbolic more than anything, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I mean, it's sad. It's sad. They got 3 other organizations though, so.
Okay. And the WBC officially orders Wilder against Ruiz.
Good. That'll be. I think when Wilder lands a punch on that chin, if he can get a clean shot, it's over.
Yeah, I think so too. He's going to sit on his butt. He's going to put him down. On his butt. Yeah.
I mean, Ruiz is tough. He's tough. You can't count him out.
Yeah.
There's that equalizer.
Yeah, if Wilder catches Ruiz like AJ caught Ruiz the first time, when he first dropped him, he might not be able to get back up from that like that.
No way.
I do believe that Wilder could get countered in this very easily because he has no defense. So, he could easily get countered. Something could go wrong,
I wouldn't say he has no defense. He has defense. Some of it is
but it's not very good.
It's not the greatest, but I don't think Wilder has taken hits harder than Ruiz's, I believe.
I agree.
Ortiz, in my opinion, was the best counterpuncher that he had faced, and Ortiz was hitting him, lighting him up in both the fights that he fought him with, and he was still able to stand up. So
I believe that Ruiz can make this a very close fight for as long as it lasts. I believe Ruiz has the power to knock him down.
Yeah, it's just that reach difference. Like if he has to reach up to catch Wilder too far, he might leave himself open too much.
What I could see happening is Wilder takes a swing at him, Ruiz ducks and hits him, counters him.
No, I don't think you give Wilder enough credit for his footwork. Wilder's footwork gets him out of a lot of problems. When he's moving around people.
Yeah, but Wilder doesn't have the best chin, really, does he? Yeah, no, he doesn't have a great chin. Wilder's never had a great.
Yeah, but he got up every time, but once.
Yeah,
he tried to get up, And don't forget being hit by Fury, man.
Yeah, Fury was 50 pounds heavier than him.
Yeah, so
Wilder's punches. Yeah.
But I think Wilder would win that fight. I don't really necessarily want to see no Wilder Fury 4, but so I would hope Usyk beats Fury. I don't think Usyk would beat Fury, but if they was to fight, I would hope Usyk beats Fury so that we could see Wilder versus Usyk.
I'm not being funny. I think I think Usyk has the style to be able to beat Fury. He has the style to cause an upset. This fight is not as easy, is not as plain sailing as people say it is. It's closer than what we think it's going to be.
I agree, but he doesn't have the size, and Fury is.
No, he doesn't. But I'm saying he could outbox Fury. He's good enough.
Yeah, but he would have to get close enough and not. He's going to pay a price if he's going to try to do that.
Fury would be the toughest challenge that Usyk has faced.
And
I am not necessarily sure that Usyk will be the toughest challenge that Fury faced.
I think he would be. I really do. Stylistically,
I mean, he's more challenging, I would assume, to Fury than say Vladimir Klitschko was.
I tell you what, if I was Usyk, I'd rather fight Tyson Fury than Deontay Wilder, because Deontay Wilder hits a lot harder than Fury.
Yeah.
He really
Yeah, but AJ hits pretty hard too. And Fury.
AJ hits harder than Fury as well, from what I get.
Yeah.
So if I was fighting him, I'd rather fight Fury than Wilder. Seriously.
Yeah, and Fury got the belt too.
Exactly.
Yeah. He has one, right? Usyk has 3.
Yeah. Like I would rather fight Fury to become undisputed than fight Wilder for possibly losing my belts.
That's true.
Because if you lose to Fury, it don't look as bad as if you lose to Usyk.
Right.
Well, just losing looks bad anyway. So
yeah.
But either one of those things would be good. Either one of those fights with either one of those guys in the mix. This is what's good about the heavyweight division right now, because we have AJ and we have Wilder on the loose, and we have Ruiz in the mix. I mean, this is all good stuff.
And there's still a guy by the name of Joe Joyce that's still out there that people like. They gotta meet him someday.
Yeah,
they gotta meet up with him someday.
He'll probably be the oldest man to win a heavyweight championship. Beating George Foreman's record the way he's done.
Yeah, or
he's
the way people. Well, he would need that would take about 7 more years. He's gonna get a title shot before then. I think he's gonna get a title shot before he could break George Foreman's record. Now he might be the champ still at George Foreman's age, but I think he's gonna get a title shot way before then. I think he got to get a shot at Usyk soon, because he's the mandatory. He's the next mandatory.
I hope so. I don't think Usyk. I think Usyk is going to have another big payday with either Fury, hopefully Fury, and then he'll probably retire. Because he came up through the ranks, and these guys are so big, and Fury is deciding to retire too. They get hit hard, man.
Oh yeah, without question. They're not the same heavyweights as like yesteryear, where they fighting 3, 4, 5 times a year.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we'll see how it all pans out, but it's a good field right now. I like the field that's opening up.
Yeah. And you got some guys coming up that's pretty decent. That should take over the division once Fury and Wilder and those guys retire.
Yeah, Zhang is still exciting. What's his name? Who beat him by decision is pretty exciting.
And then you got the new big baby.
Right. Oh yeah, he's back.
Mm-hmm. And the other one, the new one, not Darrell Miller, but Jared Anderson.
He's right.
There.
That's another big baby.
Yep.
Baby, yo, baby.
Yep. And then you got, Dubois should improve.
What else is it?
Herkovic might be better than he showed against Zhang next time out.
Yeah. Well,
are you talking about the rankings now? Are you doing the rankings?
Nah. We could lead into it though. That was a good segue.
Yep.
Let's do that now. We'll start at 10. which is Dillian White, or should we start at the beginning?
We could do number 10.
Number 10 is Dillian White on the list.
I don't know.
Which I think.
Who did I say instead of Dylan White? Because
the Russian guy you just said, who beat Zhang.
Oh, Hrgovic, yeah.
Yeah, Hrgovic at 10. I mean, let's face it, Dillian White has lost by knockout 3 times.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
And he was knocked out very easily against Fury, and then he had a hard time against, what was it, Sanchez? And Povetkin.
Not Sanchez.
Not cold.
Yeah, Povetkin he got.
Who was the guy that was backing him up and, you know, he gave him a hard time? No, not after Povetkin.
He fought somebody after Povetkin. Who the hell did he fight?
I thought it was
he fought
Frank
Fury.
Sanchez.
He fought Fury. No, he fought Fury.
No, we're going back before. We're going back before that. Before that, a guy gave
Oscar
him a hard
Rivas.
time.
Probably Oscar Rivas.
Yes, that was it. Oscar Rivas was a close fight.
Rivas.
So, I don't know if I could see him at 10 losing, you know, by these knockouts recently. You know,
if he loses to Jermaine Franklin, it's all over. Jermaine Franklin's not that good. I watched him. He's not very good. He
just got a decent looking record for Dillian White.
But the last time I checked, he put on about 40 pounds, 50 pounds. Since he's put on about 50 pounds. So
wow.
I believe Dillian White will beat Jermaine Franklin comfortably.
Yeah, he should. But all right, so we got 10 split Hrgovic and Dillian White.
Yeah, I'll keep with that. I'm happy with that. Then at 9 we've got Frank Sanchez.
Yeah. Sanchez. Yeah, because he's, you know, he gotta get some more names on his belt, but he definitely looks the goods to me.
He does look the goods.
Yeah, he's very technically sound, very boring to watch if you like that kind of style. You know, for me, he's dumb, but he's good.
He's strong.
Yeah,
he's definitely strong.
You know, he you know, too bad he's got that Cuban background, so he don't have like a huge fan base that's going to come out. I mean, unless he fights in Florida. But
and how old is he really? I mean, it says he's 27 or something. He's probably about 40, isn't he? Like they're all old, these Cuban fighters.
Maybe 33, 34.
Yeah.
They got different calendars in Cuba.
Yeah.
Their years are 20 months long. No.
Number 8 is a man who has done very little in about 2 or 3 years. Is Michael Hunter, a man, very good fighter, but done very little in the last 2 or 3 years.
He's a good promoter, you know.
Yeah, he needs a good promoter. He was with Eddie for a minute, then he started doing the Triller fights, and I think he's with, who is he with? Sutherland now?
In his last fight, he got a draw with, who did he get a draw? Was it Jermaine Franklin he got a draw? No, Jerry Forrest.
I thought it was Jerry Forrest, yeah. Yeah, he didn't look too good. He didn't look too good in that fight, but he was supposed to fight Hughie Fury, but Hughie Fury, for whatever reason, he couldn't compete, so he's the mandatory. I think he's in a mandatory position to fight Daniel Dubois.
Yeah, he's definitely not what he was, and I do believe that. You know, he could cause an upset. I don't know anymore.
He could cause an upset, but Dubois can't beat him.
Yeah. For me, Dubois is kind of, you know, he's kind of at the stage where it's like he's not a big enough name for the top guys to fight. He's got a belt, but it's like, you know, you know what I mean? Apart from that belt, I don't see what you gain from fighting someone like him, to be honest, other than the belt.
You can very easily get a loss, you know, because Dubois...
And I don't really rate him that highly anyway, to be absolutely honest. Yeah.
Well, it's the pedigree, you know. He has one style, which is fan-friendly. He swarms and tries to take you out. And if he keeps doing that...
And he beat a journeyman. To win his world title.
I wouldn't call Trevor Bryan a journeyman, but
well, he's not far off.
Well, journeyman is not what he is, but
A high level
you know,
journeyman. High level.
No, he was
He's
a
in the
contender.
Chisora bracket.
He
You
was
know,
a contender, is what he was.
yeah, he ain't a journeyman. He's a contender. He was a champ at the time, so
You
but he
know,
fought
yeah,
him.
I
got
mean,
it,
come on, he
got it.
beat a 60-year-old Romain Stavern for that time. I can't give him credit for that either. You know,
Well,
seriously.
that's not his
Hey,
fault.
Let's get
That's
real.
listen,
Don King, man.
that's who the guy that was in front of him. You know.
You know, what are you going to do? Same thing when Marciano
So,
fought Lewis and
so
took him
Dubai,
apart.
you know, to me, he's just about in the top 10, but only just based on what he's done. You know, I can't give him too much credit, really.
So where we placing Dubois? Where we got him at?
We've got him at number 7.
That's a
Okay,
good
and
place for him. I like him there.
yeah, number 6 is who?
Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz. Okay, that's right, right. Because the next I wouldn't necessarily automatically place Ruiz above the next 5. Who's number 5?
Joe Joyce.
Right, I
I
wouldn't.
kind of would. I would because he's a former
You would
world
put Joe
champion.
Joyce. You would put Ruiz above Joe Joyce.
Personally, yeah.
Okay, I could see that because he's a former world champion and all of that. So yeah,
But Joyce, I mean,
he's only
it's a good
he's
match.
only lost 2 champions.
Yeah. But because Joyce beat Daniel Dubois and he got that win over Joseph Parker, that's what puts him there because of that win
Yeah,
over
that's the
Joseph
reason
Parker.
why I would do it. Like the way in which he's beating his opponents. Like they both fought Joseph Parker. Andy Ruiz lost to Joseph Parker. Joe Joyce beat the shit out of him.
Yeah.
Right,
So
right. Joe Joyce melted him.
yeah,
Yeah.
and a guy
And
that ain't never been stopped before.
But not only that, he took a lot of punishment doing it and
Hmm.
didn't bat an
yeah,
eye, you know.
Yeah.
Just
yeah.
walk through everything. I mean, that's impressive. That's
Yes.
some
Number
big
4 is Anthony Joshua, who is number 4 only because of his good showings against his. You know, he didn't look bad in losing those fights.
Yeah,
I
he
agree.
didn't. Well, except in the Ruiz fight, he didn't look great in the Ruiz. But
And
um,
either
yeah.
one of them.
But in Usyk's fight, he tried to outbox Usyk the first time. He did much better in the second fight, I think, than he did in the first fight. Fell short towards the end. He couldn't maintain that lead that he had gained in the fight, and Usyk just came on and then like won all of the
Yeah.
last rounds to like
But he
kind of.
won't. He won't be fighting this year anyway. He's going to leave it till 2023. Whoever he fights, he has to be very careful who he fights. They make sure they select someone bad enough that he can beat them. You know, make himself look, get his confidence back up. Then he'll be in title contention again.
But it gotta be somebody he could beat, but somebody that's a worthy opponent. Like beating Dave Allen level guys shouldn't boost his confidence too much because
But
he's
Manuel
supposed to
Charr,
beat him.
someone like
That might
Emmanuel
be
Charr would be acceptable
yeah,
because he's a former
that
world
might
champion.
be good. Yeah, that might be
Or
good.
even Derek Chisora.
Or rematch Dylan White and beat the shit out of him.
Yeah, I think he should have one fight first to make sure he wins. Get someone. It doesn't matter if they're a top 40, top 55. If it's Dave Allen, I don't think it really matters. Just come back, get a win, and
You
then
know,
fight.
I got to dispute this because the guy held the title for a long time. What confidence does he need to have? I mean, he just needs to fight. Like Wilder went out and fought somebody, you know. He fought another champion and he knocked them out.
Yeah.
So it's not if you don't have confidence now after being the heavyweight champion and holding 3 belts for how many years, you're never going to have confidence.
I don't know what.
So like
You're on.
basically Tom is saying that he was already at the highest peak of his career, whatever the case is. His boost of confidence, if he could be let down that far down to that point where he needs this much of a boost to get an easy touch, then then his whole thing was like fabricated basically, and that's not what we've seen. He fought some good fights and you beat some good people.
But what I'm saying, sometimes a soft touch doesn't hurt. You know, he's allowed one soft touch. I mean, Tyson Fury's taken on a soft touch anyway. So
and the world is getting on him for that. Nobody's approving of this Derek Chisora fight.
I was just going to say the same thing, Spencer. It's like, you know, your reputation. You better fight somebody credible and beat them well if you want to be on the top again.
Yeah, like I could maybe see him, like maybe Otto Wallin. He could fight a Otto Wallin or somebody like that. Or fight Daniel Dubois. You know, he could beat Daniel Dubois, but Frank Warren and them ain't gonna do business with him. But he could beat.
Number 3 is Wilder.
Yeah.
Which I agree with,
Yeah, I agree. And then
only because he doesn't have a belt. That's the only reason he's number 3, because he doesn't have a belt.
Yeah, I would give him that, because 2 is Usyk and 1 is Fury. So yeah, like I wouldn't put Wilder above neither one. Definitely not above Fury.
I'd put him above Usyk if Usyk didn't have a belt.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, if Usyk didn't beat AJ, yeah, for sure he would be below Wilder.
Yeah. I do believe that the belts will be fragmented within a year and a half anyway.
Probably so, because it's hard to maintain that undisputed title when you're a big name and some of your mandatories aren't as big of a name like that. Like I don't see if Wilder or Fury ever gets the belt, them fighting Hrgovic.
Okay, and Usyk's number 2 because he beat Josh Duran because he was undisputed cruiserweight champion. So that gives him, Joshua win puts him number 2. Not a distant 2, but very close. Very close to being 1.
Yeah, he impressed against the other top dog in the division, which was AJ, and he did it twice in a row. Like he beat him for 24 rounds. So yeah.
I just think Usyk has a style that is terrible for anyone to fight against. An awkward style for anyone, even Fury.
Yeah, he fights sort of like a middleweight, welterweight type of guy at heavyweight. So
yeah,
he has that type of style.
It's his speed that kills, isn't it? It's the speed.
I would like to see Usyk fight Ruiz because of Ruiz's hand speed.
Yeah, that would be very close. I think that would be about even, that fight, to be honest.
Yeah, because Ruiz could catch up with Usyk's movement better than a lot of the other guys.
Ruiz could beat Anthony Joshua in a rematch if they fought now. He would beat Joshua if they fought now.
It's possible. I mean, Ruiz didn't look that great against Ortiz. He beat Ortiz. Right, he dropped him, but Ortiz probably won more rounds. You know what I'm saying? But it was those 10-8 rounds that he dropped Ortiz in that kind of made the difference.
One thing you guys got to remember is when I watched Usyk and Joe Joyce fight years ago, and you could see how it would be even more difficult for Usyk to win against Tyson Fury, who's bigger and has a longer reach. Usyk was running around all the time and just picking shots and not getting much back in the way of Joyce. But he had to get on that bicycle all the time and try to get angles, which he kind of did against AJ, but he did stand his ground. But it's going to be much more difficult to do that against Fury.
Yeah,
much more.
Because Fury could come in heavy and fight the way he did against Wilder in the last fight, like and against Dylan White, like bully Usyk around, or he could try to come in, like closer to 250-ish and outbox. I mean, keep Usyk at a distance.
Exactly. He can do whatever he wants.
Exactly. It's like he has the IQ to know how to utilize what he needs to do. That's why I give Fury the edge. It's like Fury will beat Usyk's smartest, his most challenging opponent strategically, because Usyk knows how to do things that's whatever's going on based on what's going on in the ring.
Yes, but also Tyson Fury can fight southpaw.
Yeah, Tyson Fury is versatile like that. He could fight on the back foot and he could fight coming forward. So you're not going to be able to like back him up and think, okay, because I'm backing him up, I got him, because he could fight walking backwards. You know? So yeah, that's going to be a challenge for Usyk. I think it's going to be challenging for what's that? My mother used to sing that to me when I was a kid.
Fury is the number one, obviously. So,
obviously.
He's in that number one.
What's next?
Fury. We said Fury's number one. So no, that's it, mate. That's it. Today.
All right, next week we're gonna try to do the cruiserweights.
Yeah, if you do that next week, then yeah.
I'm down. Yeah, let's do that next week. Cruisers.
Okay, guys.
Well, wait a minute. What about the Bridger weights?
Yeah, we could do.
There's. I guess all we gotta do is look at the Bridgerweight division, the WBC rankings. Like, how many people are in the Bridgerweight division? Do they even have a listing on BoxRec for Bridgerweight?
I think they do. I think they do somewhere.
No, it's not on BoxRec at all.
Oh, okay. Well, you want to try it anyway and see what happens?
Yeah, I mean, I could see what the Bridgerweight is. All right.
Me too. All right, peace,
you can
brothers.
make it up.
All right, later, guys. See y'all next week. Speak to y'all next week.
Take care. Bye-bye.